So you're saying we have an extra 15 minutes before our meeting? I'm going to Goodwill. Hey, in the morning, everyone. It's Kevin from Real Boring Flips, and I just got off work for the week. Looking forward to a nice weekend without any responsibility. So I had a situation yesterday where I had an accidental thrifting trip. I was meeting up with some friends and had a little bit of time, and so I stopped in at the Goodwill. So this wasn't my normal Goodwill, and so I had a little bit of an experience just looking around the store, finding things. I've been in it before, but I probably only go there maybe once or twice a year. Typically their prices are insane, so I don't make an extra effort to get there, but I happened to be in the area and swung in, and I actually found some good things. One was but we'll talk about that in just a second. But before we get to that, I want to show you what I'm enjoying, and I actually had to scan this to figure out what I was enjoying, but this is a Thai tea Taste Nirvana. Now, they have several versions of several different drinks, and they had a whole list of the most preferred, and darn it all, this wasn't on the most preferred list, so we'll see what happens here. I'm sure it'll be great. So it's got, I didn't realize it's got a milk in it, so it's a little creamy, but actually almost tastes orange, so that must be an orange on the cover there. Not bad. We'll see how this goes. If you guys are wondering where I get these strange drinks, this one we got on our trip to Moses Lake at the grocery grocery outlet, or gross out as we refer to it. I'm always looking for strange drinks to just share on the show with you. So this one, not bad. So the items that I grabbed, just my normal entrance into a Goodwill is head to the electronics, look through the toys, check out the movies, video games, books, and then work my way out the store, basically. So in this episode, the electronics, they actually had a cart out, so I was able to grab a couple things off the cart, which was nice. And I got this Sangene, I guess is really how you say it. It's a world band radio. It didn't have batteries in it, and there was no cord with it to test. But because this actual Goodwill is the same, basically part of the same Goodwill organization as my local Goodwill, I'm able to return electronics within 7 days to my Goodwill that I bought at other Goodwills. So I was more than comfortable with buying a couple of electronics here in the off chance they didn't work. In this case, I was able to put batteries into this, and so I probably should have left it on the channel. But works nice. I always do well with world band radios, and I have sold some Sangene equipment before. It's nicely built. I'll have to put a comp up on the screen because I don't even remember what these might sell for. But I paid $10, which I thought was pretty fair, given it was in pretty good shape. So the electronics that I bought was this JVC Super VHS VCR. Now, I really don't buy VCRs anymore unless they're a specialty one, like a Super VHS, like this one, or the Panasonic Blue Lines always do well. So I almost never have a problem with those. Now, I've bought and sold several, probably 4 or 5 of the JVC Super VHS. Not this particular model, but you would not believe that I've sold, I think, 3 of these Super VHS JVCs for over $400 a piece. And the last two that I've bought, one I got on Shop Goodwill, and it had a tape stuck in it, wasn't working, but they were able to, I was able to send it back and get my money back. This one, unfortunately, after about 30 minutes of playing a tape, it shut off, and then it just would routinely shut off. One of the ways I test these is really, I keep a selection of media, test media here. I put and it was a store-bought, actually I think it was if I remember right, yeah, Hollywood video tape that came from somewhere. So a pre-recorded movie, so a little bit higher quality than what you would see on a home recorded tape. So I put the tape in at the beginning, and I just let it play all the way through. And some of these have auto rewind, so it'll automatically rewind. And then I will fast forward the tape all the way through. And then if it doesn't have auto rewind, I'll fast rewind it all the way through. And then I'll do a few, if it passes that, then I'll do a little more intricate testing, like pause, shuttle, play, rewind, play, just making sure that the tape handling is good. In this case, it failed that first test of play through the entire tape. And so this is going to go back. I only paid $15 for it, so unfortunately, it's not worth my effort to try to deal with this. So it's going to have to go back, but I'll be able to return it to my local Goodwill. I want to take a trek up to the other city to the store that I actually bought it from. So that's not, it's a bummer, but not a big hassle. So we'll toss that one out. It's in the go back bin. Keep your receipts, because at least my local Goodwill, you got to have this. It's got to have this price tag on it, and you got to have your receipt to get your refund. And sometimes I've had them give me cash. Sometimes they give me a gift card with the balance. So make sure you keep track of your receipts, and I've got mine right here. The second item I got here, this is a Dynatrap, basically a mosquito trap. And I bought this for personal use. We have about 2 acres, but down below us is a kind of a wetlands area. And there's parts of the year where we're just inundated with mosquitoes. Even though we have many, many bats and dragonflies and whatnot, we just are inundated with mosquitoes sometimes. So I actually wanted to buy one of these. They sold these at Costco, but they were like almost $100. And I just couldn't bring myself to buy one when I figured I'll eventually run into one. It's kind of the blessing and the curse with being a reseller is it's very hard to buy new stuff, because eventually I'm going to run into one. Now this one was in the box and has the packaging, has the instructions. I did pull it out and test it. The bulb does illuminate, but you can replace those bulbs. Amazon carries them for about $5 delivered. So I'll probably just grab a few bulbs, because they're UV bulbs and they do wear out. But essentially the way it works is you turn it on, you turn it on by rotating it, and it opens up these slits, turns the bulb on, and it has a fan to pull in the insects. And the people that had this one used it, and their bugs are still in there. So I'm going to clean that out and put a new bulb in, and we'll be ready to go for next year. So $15, not bad. I'll have another $5 into it. So $20 for basically a very new condition mosquito trap that normally would have cost me almost $100. I can't believe that. So behind me here, you probably saw, I think on my last video, my haul video, that I bought this leader oscilloscope. I'm running this, I'm going to run it like this for a couple of days just to satisfy myself that there's no condition issues. I highly suggest you do that with electronics like this, especially tested equipment that's meant to be run for long periods of time. Just to satisfy yourself that it's not going to run into any issues. Now that's different from that spectrum analyzer. I don't know why I can't remember that I bought, that I showed on an earlier video, where for parts it's worth about $400. And when I tested it, it did come on. It has a little bit of a funky electronic smell. So I did not run that one for days at a time because I'm selling it as parts, and at this point it comes on at least. So I highly suggest you thoroughly test stuff. Similar to that VCR, you wouldn't want to send that off to a new buyer and have them get halfway through their first tape and have it bind up. And I certainly don't want my buyer on this to have an issue right after they get it. So the next thing I grabbed as I went through the movie aisle, I was looking for 3D Blu-rays. That's kind of my thing. I have a little bit of a collection of those because we have some 3D TVs and it's fun watching those. But they also carry at this Goodwill regular DVDs, records. I scanned through those for Laserdisc because I also have a Laserdisc collection. No Laserdisc yesterday, just old funky grandma basement smell records. But I did find this. Now this is not a great game, but it is a PS5 game, and I didn't buy this to resell, and this was unmarked, price unmarked. So in this store, that means these are $2.99, $3. The reason I got this, and the game's in here, not the book, but the game, really good condition. Apparently this game is terrible because you can buy this for about what I paid, $5 or $10. I got this to go into my testing center. I don't have a PS5 yet, but if I was to come across a PS5 that plays the discs, I'd want to have a game that I could test the PS5 with. So this will be my test game. It'll go into my test kit that I've showed you before. But it's very important to have on hand things that you can use to help you evaluate stuff that you buy, so you can accurately describe whether it's working or not, and if it's not working, what's not working. So that was a good buy for me. I don't think I've ever seen a PS5 game out in Goodwill or wherever. I certainly have never seen a PS5. So the last two items, these were actually board games, and I've really been on a tear with board games lately. And they had a good selection. I dug through quite a bit and ended up putting most of the stuff back, but I did get 2 games here. Now the cell service in the store was terrible, and so I couldn't even scan anything, so I had to go off basically gut feel, which I like doing. I mean, that's kind of a challenge. But I did get this Sirocco game, I think that's how you say it. I was pretty confident this wasn't worth a lot of money, and I paid, I think it was $6. I paid $6. It's complete and in pretty good shape. There's a little ding on the box in the back here. But, what my gut was this is a TSR game. Now, TSR does a lot of Dungeons and Dragons stuff, so I have a lot of vintage TSR Dungeons and Dragons games, books and games. So I figured this has got to be worth at least the $6 that I'm paying. And sure enough, it is. It's not worth a ton, but it was fun to get. I love these old school strategy games. This is pre-iPad days of games, but nice condition. We'll see what we do with it, but it was a nice pickup. This game actually was surprisingly pretty good. I paid $10 for it. It's called Commission, so it's kind of like a biblical game where I think you're one of the disciples maybe, or you're with Paul. Yeah, it's 34 AD, so right after Jesus was on the cross. So what was nice about this, and what basically attracted me to the game, was that it's not only complete, but it's actually new inside. So everything's still sealed. The punch cards were punched out, but everything else is sealed, new, complete. Has all the books, all the pieces, nice condition. And the comps were okay. I think, I can't remember, so I'll have to put them up there, but the $10 was a good investment. So this was my accidental thrifting trip. I really hadn't planned on thrifting. I was going out to dinner and with friends, so you know who I'm talking to. So it was just accidental that I was able to do this. It was a quick in and out. And I think, for what I got, I think it'll be pretty good turn on these items. So let me know in the comments if how you manage these accidental times where you get a chance to go thrifting that you hadn't planned on. And then, just wanted to make sure you got a little slice of some of the stuff I've picked up. I'm trying to get a little more videos. I was gone for a good couple of weeks of video time, so trying to make up for that with a few hopefully shorter videos that have enough information that you get something out of it, you get some value. I get the value of you watching these videos. I work off the value for value model. So please let me know what you think of these videos. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that. That really helps me get my videos seen more. If you like this video, please like, and please send me comments. I like to read, see what people think of the video, what you think of the items. I tend to buy, quirky items, not the traditional reseller, but stuff that's interesting to me. So let me know what you think, and let me know if you've ever had any of this. It's actually pretty good. I'm gonna have to finish this. This is not a leave it around and drink it later kind of a drink. But as I always say, join me again next time.